Okay, a couple of people were a little bit intrigued. I was going to say perplexed, but not intrigued about what I meant when I was talking about the early Panasonic built-in editing feature of their DVD recorders. In fact, I still believe that that feature was built into not just the first DVD recorder from Panasonic, some may argue the second, but technically the first, right up to the last one, whichever the last one was. But again, only Panasonic DVD recorders. If you just had a hard drive Panasonic recorder, pointless doing it on that. So I don't think it had the feature in all of those. But for the Panasonic ones that had the DVD RAM option, it did. And basically, using a DVD RAM, so not a DVD blank disc, not a DVD -R, and you have to remember that these recorders only worked on -R and RAM discs. If you try to use a plus disc or a DVD -RW or a plus RW, they would not work. So as I said, we're going back to 1999 with this feature. So what I've done on this RAM disc is a copy. I call it a backup copy, which I'm legally allowed to make for myself, of a rock concert. It's actually a Don Henley concert. Now, I'm only going to be showing the vision. The music is turned right down, obviously for copyright reasons, and sometimes I will have to speed through the process. I've just put the disc in and paused it straight away, because what you get at the beginning of each disc is a lot of stuff that you possibly don't want. So for instance, if I press play now on this disc, I'm getting all these things that, you know, the chapter selection and all that. So I'm going to forward it to all that. Then there's a little bit of, I've gone far too fast there. There's a little bit of Don Henley there being interviewed, and then eventually it will go into the concert. So there we go. So eventually it goes into the concert just there. So that's taken up probably about a minute, 2 minutes. So you can see there that I'm 2 minutes into the disc. So we've had 2 minutes of stuff that you probably don't want. If you're watching this video in 2025, you just want your rock concert, the music. So what I'm going to do using this edit feature is I'm going to edit out the first 2 minutes. You can edit out any bits. You can edit out a chunk in the middle, as I said yesterday. Maybe if you've got a great TV program on a DVD RAM, but you don't want the commercials that are in the middle, you can just edit those bits out. Now, I haven't done this for about 15 or 20 years, so I'm going to have to go through lots of buttons here to see how it is done. But first of all, I think we have to go to Direct Navigator. There we go. Now, the Direct Navigator on the early DVD recorders, the first 3 or 4 models, looked like this. The latter ones, the firmware was slightly different. So this concert is recorded on AV1. It thinks I've done it on the 1st of the 1st, because you can't really set a date on this now because it's not got built-in Freeview or anything like that. So if I go to the right of that, I get all sorts of options. I can erase the whole darn thing. I can enter a title. I can protect it to make sure it doesn't get overwritten, or I can do at the bottom a partial erase, and that will bring up the editing software. So obviously I want to be at the beginning. So just let me rewind this to the beginning, and then you can see the start button is lit up. So I'm going to press start, because that's where I want the edit part to start. And now I've got to find the bit where I want it to end. So I can just do a slow search, and I can go forward. Remember, well, we wanted about 2 minutes, didn't we? So there's a countdown there, which is going to help us. So let's just get up to close to 2. There we go. In fact, to make it neat and tidy, which is what you wanted to do if you were editing, obviously on a computer these days, right? Here we go. So on a computer these days, you can do it much quicker and much simpler. So 1 minute 50 in, I want to press end. So I've started the process where I want to edit. I now want to put where I want to end. There we go. Then it goes to next. So if you click next, it says, what do you want to do with that bit you've just highlighted, basically? And I want to erase it. And it will probably say, are you sure? No, it didn't. It's just done it. So now, if I just get out of that, and get out of that, and press play, there you go. It's got rid of all that gubbings of the interviews and stuff that was there beforehand, and it just goes straight into the concert. So let's just look at pausing that for a second and go back into the editing process. So let's do another partial erase. Let's say, I mean, the whole of this concert is absolutely brilliant. I completely and utterly love it. But let's just say track 2, I don't like. For fans of Don Henley, I can tell you that track 2 is something that I absolutely love. But for purposes of the channel and editing this, let's just have a look. We're still 5 minutes in and we're still on track 1, as you would expect, because it's a concert. So this is going to be it. Here we go. Just go back a bit. I went very fast then. So I'm going to edit out track 2. Just rewind, just rewind, just rewind. Here we go. So this is the end of, there we go, the audience going mad. So I'm going to press the start, hit start, and now let's go to the end of track 2. It would be easy to show you by let you hearing the music, but of course I can't do that. Well, you can hear little bits of it. Just coming to the end. There we go. I'll pause it there, but it says end, which is lit up. So I'm going to hit the, if you're wondering what button I'm pressing, I'm just pressing the OK button on the remote control here. That's end. And next, what do I want to do with that bit? Well, again, I want to erase it. So when I come to play that back, track 2 is now completely gone. It'll go from video 1 or track 1 into track 3. And it was that simple. It was that basic. But again, you could only do it on a RAM disk, because a RAM disk acts like a hard drive. Now, when it gets deleted, where does it actually go? Very good question, because it isn't a hard drive, it's a disk. I tend to use the word, it's not deleted, it's hidden. They've hidden it from, I was going to say the video heads then, but they've hidden it from the DVD laser. But the information will still be on that disk somewhere. It's just hiding it out the way, pushing it to the end of the disc or whatever. And that's how it works. And it was great for editing out commercials. If I'd got an old TV program that I wanted to edit out the commercials, or maybe even a new TV program. I mean, I've got one of the latest Panasonic DVD recorders down in front of me, and I'm very interested to find out that if that, well, it's a Blu-ray player, but I'm wondering if that still has the feature built into it and if that still takes RAMs. I think it must do. But of course, most people did their editing on the computer if they wanted to. And some of these DVD recorders you could connect to your PC and use your editing software of choice. But this was just a quick way and a great way of doing it. But again, you couldn't do it on a DVD-R disc. You can only do it on the RAM discs. But I always thought the RAM discs were quite superior anyway. They never took off. This is the reason why people never really edited. Well, some people did when they got this. You have to imagine that this, of course, this was high-end technology in 1999. Telling someone that you could edit out the commercials of something that you record on a DVD was... well, it was quite revolutionary, really, and was a major selling point for this particular thing. How many people got into it or not, I don't know. Several people would have done, us geek types, I suppose, and maybe you're one of those geek types as well. But I'm still in editing mode now, as you can see, but if I press the return button and the exit button, I've still got the first few seconds, which I recorded yesterday, and then it follows on into the main part of the video. Anyway, I'm droning on about nothing in particular now, but that's how the editing process worked. And if I take this disc out and put it into another Panasonic or Toshiba that used a DVD RAM, it will have edited those bits out. They would have disappeared. And it was quite a smooth way of doing it as well. It wasn't choppy, it wasn't clunky. If you timed it absolutely right, and you could really go up one frame at a time, you could make it look very nice and neat, some of the editing, which, again, us geek types possibly did in 1999. I'd hate to make a comment, but, oh dear, I've just realised that music's playing in the background while I'm doing this, so I'm going to switch that off now. Goodbye. So probably going to get a copyright strike on this video, but it doesn't matter. I just want to show the editing side of it. So there you go. That's how the Panasonic editing feature worked. Why wasn't it a success? Well, it was a success in people's homes that loved playing with these things from about 1999 to 2005, and then it just fizzled out. Computers became a better way to do editing, and editing software became a little bit more controllable, and you could do transitions and titles and that sort of stuff. This was just a basic chop, cut, and get rid of, edit, chop, cut and delete, I suppose. But it was great for its time. I can't believe maybe there's somebody watching this video right now that still does that sort of thing. Incidentally, thank you to 2 or 3 people that have got in contact with me today to say that they've still got RAM discs, and they don't want them anymore, and they're sending them into the channel, which is great, because I'm going to get this machine to be used for something. Just in case you haven't seen part 1 of this video, part 1 was getting this DMR E20 out of its box with all the original wrapping. We did it, and so the videos is the one I did yesterday, so I'm sure you can go and find it if you're interested in that sort of stuff. But as far as the next few days are concerned, you can't see, but behind me I've got a pile of TVs that we have to repair. So we're going back to the TV repairs. Well, I'm going to do a couple tomorrow, so a couple will go up. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.